How often do you sit down to pee? And I don't mean sit down because you're taking a shit, but just because you're too lazy to stand to pee.
More often than I care to admit.
All right, so cool. Only 20 minutes in, and we haven't even started our show yet.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. Character building.
Just the whole time that we left on our break before we started in.
Just the dead silence.
Just watch the retention numbers just fall off a cliff. I have my Christmas tree up.
I've had mine up for almost a month now.
Whoa. When is an appropriate time to put a Christmas tree up? You did it before.
I pushed it off till November 12th, and the girlfriend wanted to put it up in October.
In October?
Yeah. She's a Christmas nut.
So is my wife's an every holiday nut. But we if she could, it would be November 1st. Soon as Halloween's done, because she's got all her stuff for Halloween. She's a huge Halloween fan. Soon as Halloween's over, November 1st, she wants to put the tree up. And yes, we push it till at least November 12th. Yeah. Out of respect, I believe you shouldn't be doing any Christmas, but I've got my Christmas lights up outside. I've got my Christmas tree. Hell, I even started some Christmas shopping.
Oh, my Christmas shopping's pretty much done. I found this fancy thing called Amazon for once, and instead of waiting till December 24th to do the majority of my Christmas shopping, I've got most of my stuff already under my tree.
Jesus.
I know.
Under the tree before December. Let's take a poll on anyone listening. And if I was for years. It's only been in the last 2-3 years that I have managed to get my Christmas shopping done by like December 20th, December 15th. Like I started in December. Mm-hmm. But I remember legit year after year after year, I was the guy Christmas Eve in the store getting all my shopping done in one night. He's the only person I would buy for in advance. This is the one year that I'm having the hardest time buying for. I don't know what to get her. I keep seeing things and I'm like, ooh, she'd probably like that. But it's an appliance. And I'm pretty sure I've been threatened before that if I get her any sort of appliances for Christmas.
Get her an egg chair.
An egg chair.
Yeah, it's like one of those hanging chairs. It's the shape of an egg, normally in a wicker thing. Amanda wants one.
Oh, where it hangs off of a big pole?
Yeah.
Like it goes behind it? That sounds like the stupidest gift ever.
Get her one of those big Snuggie things.
I've seen those.
Yeah. Or one of those big hush blankets that you see on Facebook all the time.
I try and tell her to hush all the time. It doesn't work. I don't know if a blanket will be any better.
Well, the blanket's like the size of an elephant, so I hope it would.
Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, and you're listening to the Towing Life Podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life Podcast,
where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drivers are not. I am your host, Towman G, and as usual, I am joined by my co-host, friend, and former co-worker, the man with very strong opinions, Mr. Plain Guy.
What is going on, G? What is going on?
Oh, just taking your lead for once.
It's about time. 69 episodes in. And you finally decided to follow my lead. No, absolutely. Welcome to another episode of the Towing Life Podcast, where, as G said, the ditches are deep. They're getting full. I don't know about you guys, but we've finally started to get some snow.
Is it staying though?
Nah, we're getting mild again, and now we're getting rain, and
we're getting more rain.
It was just enough to mess everything up. You know what? The tire guys are probably liking this. Right? Because there's always that rush because we normally get pounded with a good 15-20 centimeters of snow. It's here to stay. Everyone's trying to get their tires. We had that one little wake-up call.
Yeah.
Everyone's now booking, getting them done. It might actually, I never thought about this, but for the towing industry, actually affect us when it comes to the first big snowfall that we get, right? Because we know it. The first snowfall is always the worst. Everyone forgets how to drive in the snow again. Half the people still have their summer tires on, and everybody's slipping and sliding everywhere. And it's good for the pocketbook. It's good for the industry. with that little prepper that came through, that little, you know, snowfall that accumulated for a bit and stayed for about a week, but, you know, cleared off the roads within 6-8 hours, maybe a little bit longer. Is it enough to actually, you think it'll affect business when it comes to the first actual big real snowfall?
Well, I mean, spots around me, that first snowfall that we got almost 2 feet in spots. So I was pulling a lot of people out of their driveways, even just missing their driveway and the ditches like that. So I would say for around us, we did have our first real snowfall. But now that the snow is melting, I think people are going to become a little bit more complacent in the fact that, oh, it's like normal summertime driving with a bit of rain now, and they'll get a little bit more laxed behind the wheel.
So they haven't had that like long term of driving, like they haven't gotten that.
Yeah, they had the shock of it, but I think that shock is going to wear off before it becomes into appropriate winter driving habits. So I think I don't think it's going to have a big effect on us. I think in the slow time when the snow is melting is going to slow down a little bit. But then I think once the snow comes in, we're still going to have more idiots signing our paychecks.
Well, let's be honest. There's so many idiots out on the road that it doesn't matter how acclimatized they get to the driving. There's idiots everywhere.
Shit happens.
Yeah, it's unavoidable in our industry.
Yeah.
So before we get too far into that, it is a good time to mention, if you have any questions, comments, concerns for the show, how to reach us. Easiest way, I've been saying it from the beginning. I'm going to stop even including the other plug soon. Visit www.towinglife.ca. Remember, .ca. We are Canada's #1 towing podcast. You can email us directly if you'd like at thetowinglife@gmail.com. Be sure to follow us over on Facebook at The Towing Life Podcast. You can always give us a call, 249-666-2209. It is still active. I did check the phone lines the other day.
Oh,
it is still active. Yeah, absolutely. And you can, if you're watching and or listening while you're doing everything in the house on YouTube, you can comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about it. We don't ask you to share very often. We have a good time with this. If you are in the towing industry and you've joined us for enough episodes, you know that this is where towers come to tell their stories, have their fun, and talk about all the stuff we shouldn't probably talk about.
This is a pretty big milestone for us. I think this milestone, this episode, is more of a bigger milestone than episode 52.
Why?
Episode 69, buddy.
Okay. So back to real adult things.
Yes, but if you do enjoy the show, you could buy some merchandise. We've got a couple of new things up on the website. The towing saved me from becoming a porn star. Now I'm just a hooker. I really like that shirt. I'm going to order that shirt for myself, and I'll wear it one day on the podcast. It's an absolute great shirt. And I also like the bright yellow. We are thinking about getting some like high vis shirts, but that's down the pipeline because I know myself, I like wearing these shirts to work, but then you're like, people get a laugh out of them, but I'm not working safely. So, you know, we are thinking about it.
If the merchandise becomes more and more popular, we will definitely look at adding more options to it.
Yeah. So if you want to see more, better, and great things coming, buy them all up. Christmas is coming.
Absolutely. You can, if you want to see the complete collection that we have, you can visit www.towinglife.ca/shop. That is towinglife.ca/shop. And yeah, there's the Eat, Sleep, Tow, Repeat. I was born for this. I live for this. Don't let me die for this. Slow down, move over for tow trucks. All the shirts are, we've taken some ideas that we found on the internet. We've redesigned them and put them out. They are designs that we have built ourselves. So we do take a lot of pride in that. Speaking of the website and things we have available too, if you haven't heard already, for our Canadian listeners, we have now become the official exclusive vendor of the BakPul hitches over in Canada. You'll never be overweight again with the BakPul hitch. They are available in Canada, easy to get. You're not going to have to worry about duties and importing and everything else. We've already done the hard work for you. We bring them in. We send them out to you guys over in Canada. You can find out more information at www.towinglife.ca/BakPul. That's BakPul. So now that all the good information and easy stuff is out of the way, it's time to get into the nitty gritty.
I'm pretty sure everyone already knows that in front of every website, there's a www dot in front of it. So can we just stop saying the www dot?
I'm dealing with towers who sometimes can be out of date. I mean, if you have managed to get on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, wherever you are listening or watching, Spotify, YouTube, I'm pretty sure you're aware of how the internet works.
I'm pretty sure the internet just autofills the www dot if you put a .com or .ca at the end.
Maybe. You know what? I woke up this morning not thinking I would learn something. Yet here we are.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Anytime the Towman G can school me on how technology works, it's a good day.
I wouldn't really say school you on technology. Did you know I won the technology award in public school?
Well, that was public school.
Yeah.
So less impressive. What did you win the technology award for in public school?
I couldn't tell you. It was just an award that they gave you, but I did like the light. I did all the lighting and the sound for the talent shows and all the like things that we did and everything like that. I was also the only disc jockey there. I was actually, that was my first job, was a mobile wedding DJ that I started in grade 7. So yeah.
Whose weddings were you doing? The grade 8s?
Sorry?
Whose weddings were you doing? The grade 8 kids?
No. Like I was actually out in bars, like learning from.
And then getting kicked out after 10 o'clock because they couldn't have minors in there.
Well, actually, they can as long as they're a paid employee of a different.
Really?
Company. Yeah. At least where I was.
Again,
they weren't in the high scale up class bars by any means, so they probably just didn't care.
Yeah, I think that's some line they might have fed you just because they didn't care and they probably
Hey
knew.
kid, you want to be in here? Yeah. Then don't say anything to anyone. Okay.
Problem solved. Problem solved. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. So we were talking earlier, right before we started the show. God knows if you include in the intro what it is. Moving cars around the yard.
Yeah. Yeah.
How for the listeners that don't know, how big is your yard?
So we got all indoor storage for our pound. We've got 2 different shops. We got a front shop and a back shop. The back shop, we actually have 5 hoists in there now. So we can double stack cars, which is great. So the front shop is more for long-term. What?
Wait, I love the fact that the happy part about having 5 hoists isn't so you can work on things, it's so you can double stack cars in the bay. You literally, did you buy the hoists for that purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We ran out of storage space.
So we bought hoists. I'm in.
Yes, they're 4-post drive-on hoists that are 8,000 pounds, and we can fit small SUVs up top and pickup trucks underneath. And then we've got the front shop that is more for wrecks and stuff because you can shove it in a corner, and if it sits there for a month, it sits there for a month. It's not really in the way. Problem is, we got a Tesla come in.
Ooh.
That was burnt to a crisp already.
Nice.
So it had to sit outside.
So what's your outside space like?
Well, we share it with an auto shop.
Oh, that's handy.
And since the auto shop is in between our front bay and our rear bay, yeah, it gets a little fun. We also have freight trucks. Our company runs freight, so they're backing in with 40-foot trailers all the time. So we got to leave enough room in and around for them to get in behind the building to park. It's a real cluster of a situation. So as you can assume, we have to move vehicles around all the time. So for me, myself, moving some of these more heavily damaged vehicles around is some of the best learning experience I can give to myself for trying new things and my other guys for showing them different tricks and tips that I personally have. Now, the burnt Tesla is a great thing that we were able to go over with our one newer bed driver of how to rock cars off of the bed better and how to, especially since the front tires didn't roll, get that off the truck and then slide the truck out from underneath of it, kind of like you would a C-can.
Right.
So that was, there's no real other way of showing him that unless he gets that call and then you go to a system. So the fact that we can teach him that and show him that in a more controlled environment in the yard is awesome, because you don't really get that. Sure, you might only do one, maybe two of those types of calls a year, but that's the type of call where it's going to make the newer operator, the operator that's just not so competent, scratch his head and go, I don't know what to do, and cause one of your more competent drivers to go out in the system, which then could leave you backed up, right? So being able to do that kind of stuff is really beneficial, I find.
Absolutely. If you remember when we worked together, one of the accounts that we had was for a scrapyard. We picked up a lot of their cars, and the rule of thumb was always the new guy went and did it. And it's not because screw the new guy. It's because he gets the opportunity to build this confidence on his own, right? While towing cars that if he messes them up, it really doesn't matter. Yeah. Right. Like I remember
treat it like it's $1 million car.
Yeah. 100%. I had one of the drivers I was training that took out an oil pan on one of them. And it was like, I'd rather you learn on that than learn on this, our customer's Volkswagen that he's getting towed into the shop because it won't start, that you took the pan out on now.
Yeah, as long as you make sure he's aware of, like, okay, you screwed up on this one. How can we not do that in the future with something else? Make it 100%. A learning experience.
100%. Yeah, it's got to be made very clear that, yes, we allowed this. Yes, it happened, but you got to learn and move forward from it. So, no, he really enjoyed that, and it was perfect. It was good ways. That's what the new guys did. It helped them build confidence too, right? It gave them an opportunity to play. I always encourage operators, new and old, to play, have some fun, right? We did some winching recovery, like training recently because we've got a fairly new team, and it was a great time to just play around and run these scenarios. I've got a new guy that I'm currently with right now where it's, you tell him, I can't give you all the tools to this. I'm going to give you tools to put in your toolbox. You're going to have to figure out how to use them, right? When we talked about C-cans, winching yourself under C-cans, we got to do one. We got to do a couple other little things. It was all things that this doesn't just apply to this. You've got to find those situations where you can then reapply this. And I think that's the difference on what makes a great operator compared to a good operator. Is somebody that can go, okay, I was shown how to do this in this scenario. I'm now going to take that trick and apply it in this scenario. A good operator will go, I've been shown how to do this scenario. That's it. A great operator, in my opinion, will then go, I can, take that tool and add it to my toolbox and apply it here for this vehicle or here for this scenario. Something completely different from what the original training was, as long as he's working with, and, want to work safely at the same time. And sometimes guys get a little ambitious and you show them one trick and they think I can use everything. Like 4 times the amount of weight. You can't just use that same trick. There's other things that come into play, but we've all been there and we've all made that mistake doing it, right? Where I had to go pick up a C-can. This was a little sketchy. I'm not one for promoting sketchy things, but this was sketchy. We had to get this C-can that was near train tracks. Normally, and this thing is loaded, and we are getting mixed information on what it is loaded, how much it's loaded with.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so we're getting 13,000 pounds. Okay, it's loaded with 13, or it's weighs a total of 13 because they weigh about 5,000 pounds empty.
Yep.
More on that. They're not that heavy, 6,000.
It really depends if you need a low boy or if you can put it on the back of your West.
Well, either way, this thing is getting put onto a 53-foot flat deck that is there. It's to get it where it is from, because it's kind of down a goat path along the train tracks. They were using it for whatever work they were doing out there. So anyways, we asked them that question. They said, yeah. Okay, which one? Anyways, I estimated this thing to be about 20,000 pounds.
Yeah, just to be on the safe side.
No, not to just be on the safe side. I mean, it was about 20,000 pounds. I felt it.
Okay.
Yeah. My poor little 20 TB single axle was not enjoying its day. But, we couldn't get the rotator down there to lift it up, because that's what we were doing. We were lifting it and putting it on a trailer. They didn't want us swinging anywhere near the train tracks. Obviously there's safety with the CN and everything else. So we're going to send the 20 TB down in to go get it. And, I'm showing this new guy, and we double up. We get it on. We winch ourselves under to help lower the resistance and everything else.
Yeah.
And we get it out, and I go, I've got it, I don't know, just over halfway on the bed. I'm not putting the whole thing up onto the bed. Yeah. We just got to get it out of here. And that poor rear end, and we've got to go up a hill and everything. It was one of those moments, especially when you've got a new guy. And I mean, like day 2.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a do as I say, not as I do moment.
Yeah.
Right. This is where I've rigged, I've stabilized to get into my locks to make sure my locks will hold. There's all kinds of things that come into this that I don't really have the time to explain to you right now, because we are on an hourly job that it needs to get done.
You got a rotator sitting there. You got a 53-foot deck trailer. You got a lot of ribbon tied up.
Yeah. So it's like kind of just sit back, watch, and we'll debrief after the whole situation. And you have those moments where it's like you want to teach your new guys.
Yeah.
100%. New guys are great because they're so moldable. You get a fresh slate. There's no bad habits.
Beaten down yet and hard and crusted in their ways.
100%. So it's a great opportunity, but at the same time, that's where we lean on that. It's not there's how I say to get it done, and then there's a real world.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How many times you cross your chains on your wrecker?
Never.
Okay. I got a new operator. I mean, 3-4 months in, crossing the chains on everything.
What?
Everything. Wrapping them the proper way and crossing them.
Huh.
How do you tell him not to? Because he's not wrong doing it. He's not wrong doing it.
Okay. Side note. The first time I ever met you, you pointed at what's wrong with this hookup, and I said your chains aren't crossed, and you said, "Oh, you don't need to cross your chains in a wrecker."
I'm not saying you do need to. I'm saying you don't need to.
So you don't need to cross your chains. So it's just something extra that he's doing. It's taking him more time.
I see the heavies will cross.
A less proficient operator if it's taking him more time.
You've been pulled over by MTO inspection?
No.
You've never been given an inspection?
No.
I never have either. I've known many guys that have.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody that crosses their chains, and that was never one of the topics that were brought up.
No.
I'm pretty sure when you go for any of the training courses that are available, I was never taught through any of them about crossing chains. Right? I know our heavy operators will do them. We're talking a little bit different numbers, but it's the same concept.
Yep.
All in all. But so you can't tell them, you're doing it the right way. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're not going to get, like, he's still fast with it.
Yeah.
But how do you stop? You know what I mean? Like, how do you go, this is the real world. I mean, this guy will do a hookup point A to point B up the block, and we're talking all of it.
Yeah.
We're talking cross chains. We're talking toe lights. So that's an easy one.
Double wrap safety chains on a Vulcan.
Double wrap safety chains, dolly straps. I mean, if it's going a kilometer, he's got dolly straps on.
You can't knock the guy for doing that.
You can't. And I sit there and I go, man, you're probably a better operator than I was most of my career.
Yeah. He's a better operator than me now. Because I tell you what, if I'm going a kilometer down the road, those dollies probably aren't strapped.
Yeah, remember, we'll use this in the court case whenever you finally lose something off it. Here's the evidence, ladies and gentlemen. Exhibit A. But no, it's true. Like, let's be realistic here. Let's be realistic here. You're doing it around the corner dolly on a RAV4. I'll say it. I'm not strapping it. I'm not.
There's no straps on nothing. You'll probably get 2 rollover pins and the keeper pins in the spoon.
No. I'm putting chains on.
Okay.
I'm still putting chains on. I'm not doing the double wrap on the wheel lift. For anyone who doesn't know what the Vulcan strapless system, you're supposed to do the double wrap. But I am doing the onto the one hook. I am putting chains on. That's the same way. I won't even do I've seen guys do like the one chain with the winch.
Yeah.
I tried it one day. It was pouring rain. I winched it on. I threw the one chain on. I snugged it up. I wasn't going far. I couldn't do it.
No.
I hopped back to my truck. I sat there and I went, I can't do it. This goes against everything I believe in it. Regardless, actually, you didn't call me this week, the one chain wonder. Regardless of how many times you call me that, I couldn't do it. Like, I really just couldn't push myself to go. I'm only going like 2K up the road.
Yeah.
Nah. Too many times can things happen. Too many things can go wrong. I did 3 wheel straps. because I thought I would cheat, and then at the point, so it took me longer in the long run. I should have just done the wheel straps to start, but I did the 3. I did the front 1 and 2 rear. I've always been a big believer in that. If you're gonna do 3, I don't like the 2 cross corners because of a side shift, like a twist.
Yep.
I would never do 2 front and 1 rear, only because the rear is normally the lightest. It bounces around. It can move over to one side. You got to
walk the farthest.
And you got to walk farthest. So it's normally driver's front, driver's rear, passenger rear. I mean, at that point, you might as well do the passenger rear and walk around the front of the truck.
Yeah.
But, you know, what are you really saving? But, and then, you know, reverse pattern coming off, driver or passenger rear off, driver rear off, bed down, driver. But I still don't drive shit on. Believe it or not, that is the one thing that I still do not do, is I will not drive stuff on. But anyway,
my one,
guys.
That same bed driver who's a little, he's still under a year. We got a winch out that same day that we were moving the Tesla around. And my manager said, you go with him, teach him a thing or two on recovery. I was like, man, I've only like winched like 5 things out with a bed, so I'm probably not the best.
Yeah, the worst guy to be showing this in.
I'm a competent record driver, I'll say that, but I'm not a very competent bed driver. I'm the pick something up and take it 200 kilometers in a bed. I'll admit it. Do I know how to do the job? Sure, I do. But the tools that are on the flatbed are different than my wrecker, and it's going to take me a little bit longer to get the job done. Anyway,
fair enough.
So we get out to this wreck, and the police are there, and it's a car down the ditch. Well, this vehicle went off into the ditch on the passenger side, rode that ditch for about 100 meters, overcorrected, jumped the road, went into the oncoming side's ditch.
Nice.
Rode down another about 200 meters, got just past a telephone pole on the slight S-bend that the road took, got stuck, backed up, slid down into the pole.
This guy went for a ride.
Yes. So, like 500 meters from their house. So we get there, and my operator gets out of the truck, and he was like, well, we really should have brought yours. I guess we got to turn around and go back to the yard. I was like hell we are. I was like, Jesus, this is exactly what I said to him. I was like, well, what do you think we should do? Well, I want to pull from the front of the car, bottom side. I was like, okay. And where are you going to be putting your truck? Well, over here. I was like, okay, so you want to twist that car with the bumper touching the pole. He was like, well, that's the only way we can do it. It's like, no, it's not. I was like, you pull your truck up over onto the far side of the road, run your winch line off the snatch block off the back, do 2 chains from each tire. I'm not going to tell you how we hooked it up to the rims or the tires because you'll get upset, but we hooked it up to the rims and the tires, back up to the winch line on the truck, and we pulled that thing perfectly out sideways, right out onto the road. And after everything was all said and done, he was like, that went out really quick, like really smooth. I was like, yeah, you don't give it the option to mess around on you. You say, I'm here, you're coming with me. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We had the room, we could do it safely. We did it. And he was blown away. And it's just little things like that. Like, I get it. You always, the rule of thumb was pull it out the way it came in. That was the big thing.
Oh, the hell with that.
That was a big thing. Okay. It was pulled out the way it came in.
Who started that?
I don't know. Always grab from the low side. If you can do it from the rear, do it from that way, because then you got the front tires to help steer the car out. All decent ways. Everything I just said holds merit. If you can grab onto 2 parts of that vehicle and say, I'm bringing this front end with me, and now I'm bringing this rear end with me, where's that car going to go?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get
exactly where you want it to go.
Yeah, dragging it sideways creates more resistance than rolling it and steering it, right? That's the main difference.
But
dragging it sideways up in the embankment, taking in.
You're now acting those tires as a skate, right? Especially if you've got
until you start digging into stuff and you see the sidewall, the pressure going into the sidewall, and the tire starting to flex and everything.
That's added resistance from digging. If you've got height, you can normally slide it on top of whatever it's.
Yeah, you're not getting height with a flatbed 9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10, you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the one odd scenario, you're 100% right. But that is the one. That's the only thing a bed me. I mean, I can recover with a bed just as much as I can recover with a wrecker. The beds are, believe it or not, I hate to say this, God knows I've been a wrecker guy my whole life. The bed are easier, only because with the NRC beds and the wheel lift spades and everything else, it's anchorability.
Yep,
you can plant that son of a bitch down and it ain't going anywhere. with the
Yeah,
record.
our
It's still
NRC
doable.
20TB just pulled out that same flatbed, hooked up to a 3/4 ton van that were both stuck in a snowy driveway.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and you can do it off the tail.
Yeah.
Off the side kind of thing. Where a wrecker, you need to get the room to turn into it, to get your wheel chocks, to everything else, like, you know. So that's where the wrecker has its issues, but the bed has its issues that it doesn't have the option of height.
Yeah.
It doesn't have boom lift. It doesn't have that angle that you sometimes want or need.
mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I know getting the attitude of, well, I guess we're gonna go get another truck. I mean, if you can do it safely and you can, you know, figure it out, there's no reason for a second truck. I think a lot of guys, it's such a tough mix because you want you want an operator to be a bit of a cowboy.
You need
right?
confidence. You need a bit of cockiness.
But that guy is the same guy that's going to do some stupid shit and break some stuff.
Yeah.
Right. That guy is also going to, it's going to say, you know, like say, I got it and get it done. But at the same time, that's the same guy that's going to put a winch line through a back window.
We did a cowboy story. Same day of the Tesla, we had a Jeep sitting
Cowboy
up on
story.
4 axle stands with no tires. Right.
Okay.
And I decided it had to be moved. Picking it up off of axle stands with a bed is a little bit more sketchy, I find.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'll just back up to it, put my wheel lift underneath the bumper, slide it in so it's butt up against the rotors, take my boom, 2 lines off the boom to the roll bar of the Jeep, pick up the ass end of the Jeep, tilt up on the wheel lift, and literally sling it off the back of my truck to move it into a better spot. It needed to be moved anyways. This wasn't just, let's see if I can do it. It needed to be moved, and it got moved. And I was there with my manager, and he was like, you okay with this? I was like, well, I've never done something like this, and I don't think you have either. So it's a learning experience for both of us. So let's just watch what happens. And picked it up, moved it safely, dropped it back down. And now, is that something I'm going to use ever again? Probably not. But at least it's cool to
I did something similar with a Cavalier.
Yeah.
Going to scrap.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any wheels on it, so I did the same thing. I kind of like chain slung the front setup and then ran the boom extended out over and then kind of lifted to get just enough to get the dollies under it and put it down. And it was, yeah, are you gonna ever use that again? God, no, probably not. But it's a tool in the toolbox that I know if something comes up, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's what a lot of it is. It's just it's adding tools, but like I said, you want that cowboy, you want that guy willing to take a little bit of risk, but you want that guy to be calculated at the same time. But I feel like if you don't let them play, tying it all back together with a pretty bow, if you don't let them play, they're never going to gain that confidence and that ability to do these things. They, you know, you're not all operators. There's guys that I wouldn't, you know, none that are on my team currently, but there's guys that I trust in the industry that I wouldn't trust to winch out of, you know what I mean, a square tube out of a ditch, like, and throw tie rods and CV shafts and everything else and fenders and bumpers and God knows what else you have on the car. I wouldn't trust them worth a shit.
Our job is fun as long as you can do it safely and efficiently.
Our job is just fun, period. And then the safely and efficiency is just a good way to keep doing our job longer. That's my opinion. That's my opinion on that.
Put that on a t-shirt.
All right, let's play a game. You want to play a game?
I would love to play a game.
All right, let's play a game. We're going to play a fun little game to wrap up this episode and take it all together with all the wonderful fun we've been having. Would you rather? All right, we've heard this popular game before. I don't know if you ever played it. My wife and I played it one time. It was terrible. I'm pretty sure I got
that's a bad idea.
Pigeonholed into getting myself in a lot of trouble. Would you rather date this person or marry this person? And I'm like, both of those answers are going to get me in trouble. So let's see if we can have the same kind of fun today.
Oh boy.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first? Rock, paper,
right,
scissors?
I'll start with an easy one. You know what?
Okay.
Would you rather in a wrecker tow a car or a pickup truck?
Depends on the pickup truck.
Just a generic pickup truck.
If it's a GM, I'll take a pickup truck. The reason is I can neutral the transfer case and tow it frontwards, and then clearance isn't an issue compared to a car. With clearance is a little more of an issue, right? I'm not saying that the car is the issue, but a lot of times pickup trucks and SUVs, the one nice thing is if you can get that GMC Acadia front wheel drive, that any front wheel drive little SUV you can get where clearance isn't even a thought.
Yeah.
it's a wonderful thing in a wrecker.
Mm.
So we're talking wrecker exclusively. Yeah,
Pretty much anything with a wheel lift.
If
Wheel
it's a
lifting.
Ford, half ton, I'd rather a car. If it's a Dodge, probably rather a car. But if it is a
Really?
GM that I can
Oh,
neutrally
yeah, you don't like
I
to
don't,
leave
I
front
don't do
ends
the
on the
Dodge.
ground. That's
I
right.
don't like to leave front ends on the ground at all. So no, if it's a GM, I'll take the truck every day of the week. If it's a car, if not, I'll take a car. What about you?
I'm a truck all the way. Unless there's a tonneau cover on the vehicle, that like a hard tonneau cover, I'm taking the car.
That's fair. All right, mine isn't so much vehicles. Would you rather do 10? And I'm talking these rusty seized on tires, the ones where if you don't have your impact gun and even that, and you get your T-bar, it's like half a turn, half a turn, half a turn, half a turn. Donkey kicking the shit out of that tire because it is so corroded onto the hub. Tire changes, 10 of those. Or do back to back 10, like 1 kilometer dolly tows. We're talking all-wheel drive RAV4s that there is no leave it in neutral.
Tire changes.
You're taking the tire changes over that?
I'm taking the tire changes solely for the fact I changed 10 tires and I'm done. To sling the dollies, I'm taking the dollies down 10 times. I'm taking the dollies up 10 times, and I'm cracking up 10 times 4, 40. I'm cracking up 40 tires. At least 40. Yeah.
No, your math is 10 cars. You're not doing 4 per car. Oh, 4 tires. I guess 1 axle. I'm thinking 2, like 1 axle. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's a lot more work.
How much work is that? That is like 1 lug nut going hand on like this. Is the same as cracking up those dollies all those times.
I don't know. It's also less risk factor because you're no longer towing down the road.
I'm not talking about risk. This game is not would you risk it. It's would you rather.
That would be a good game.
Would you risk it? No. Oof,
would you risk it for the biscuit?
I'm in. Okay. Coming up on an episode soon, it will be would you risk it? And we'll make sure to get producer Sarah in on it.
No, I would still stick with the tire changes.
Okay. We are 2 very different people. Okay, what do you got?
Oh, yeah, it's my turn again.
Yeah, it's your turn. That's how it goes. One.
Would you rather, when moving a car, to get it out onto the street, to load it, or to when you're dropping it at the dealership, get crushed by the automatic seat memory thing, or just sit down into that seat and it's just wet and you don't know what it's wet from?
I'm gonna go with the obvious automatic seat crusher. In case you haven't noticed, I have reflexes like a cat. My hand is almost okay. I'm 6'1". Okay, my hand is almost trained already. Anytime I get into a car to reach for the electric seat to see if it's there, even to get in half of the time I have to. So trust me, when I push that button, before that motor starts to wind up, my hand is down there going, nope, not today, Satan, not today.
Instead of the Wild West and how fast you could draw your pistol, it's how fast can you reach that seat button?
Yeah, I've had a weird car where I think it was up on the door.
Oh, I hate that.
I almost died. I almost had to call the fire department to get me out because this thing was about like a 5'2" little old lady, and that thing just started to collapse. And I'm like, oh no, where is it? And I'm reaching down there. It's not there. It's not there. And my knees are into the dash. I'm pretty sure like I'm gonna burn the motors out soon because the seat's still trying to like. How have they not figured out how to build in like they've got them for the windows so you can get caught in the window? Yeah. Maybe think about us tow operators and put it in the automatic seat thing and go that there's a safety that once my knees hit the dash, you can stop.
Or
you can crush a child in that thing.
Don't do the automatic seat until the seat belt has been clicked.
That's a genius idea. That is $1 million software update idea. Please sell it to these manufacturers. Yeah, that makes sense. You put your seatbelt on and it goes adjusting.
Yeah,
and puts your shit all together. That's
that would also give you a lot more room to reach around to grab it.
Yeah, so the little old Betty probably can't reach it with it all the way back. She probably can't reach the start button at that point. Like, But no, that is a very good one. But yeah, I got cat-like reflexes, so most of the time I can catch it. Except for I think it's like the Lincolns or something that they're up on the door. Some
Fords have
Cadillacs
that
or
up
something.
there, and
Yeah, almost died that day.
I'm the same because you might get crushed in the moment, but then you don't have a wet bum for the rest of the day.
No, I just don't want to
Possibly
be
sticky.
like,
Who knows?
yeah, I don't know what it is. Like they piss themselves? Is that kind of the theory you're going with on that? Like we don't know.
The more cars you get into, I find in this industry, like I've got a truck in my impound right now where the cup holders are just full of water. Like how in the center of your vehicle, how do you there's just water random places in some vehicles, like how and why?
Yeah.
How do you drive around with water sitting in your cup holder?
Yeah. Get a napkin. Like McDonald's gives them away for free.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather a smelly customer? And I mean, I had one not long ago that was whole wintertime, worst time for smelly customers. Because you can't put the window down as much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because then they really catch on to that there's something up because it's minus 20 out and you've got the window down and it's only
minus 30 inside.
Yeah, because they stank. It's like, how did you smell so bad? You couldn't have sweat this much in this weather to be this stinky. Yeah. It's got to be like, medical. Anyways, a smelly customer for a 1 hour ride in the wintertime. So again, it is worse in the winter. Or a dumb, and I mean dumb. I'm talking every flat earther, conspiracy theorist, like just, and I'm not saying I don't agree with all of them, but just like, I mean, you might as well have a conversation with a hockey puck, right? And chatty. The dumb ones are always chatty. Maybe that's why we ended up with a podcast.
Probably.
But the dumb ones I find are always chatty for a 3 hour ride or a smelly customer for the 1 hour ride.
I would take the dumb chatty guy for 3 hours. And you want to know why?
Because you guys would have a lot in common.
That, and I have a podcast, and the amount of gold we would talk about for this show would be crucial.
And the future growth. You're a businessman through and through. You were thinking about the future growth of this show.
I will sacrifice 3 hours of my life with losing brain cells for the betterment of this show.
Fun fact, you guys have become best friends. I was really hoping you would take that answer just so I could tee that one up, and you went perfectly on it. So thank you for that.
No problem.
Because you'd have a lot
line and sinker, bud. Just for you.
Absolutely.
But no, like the smelly customer. Some smells
They're the worst.
linger.
Are they the worst? Like, what is the worst kind of customer? Smelly is the worst, right?
Yeah. I would 100%. Like, I loaded up this one car and I backed into the driveway, got out of my truck, and all of a sudden I just smelled cigarette smoke. Like, not I just had a smoke, but like it was wafting from this lady's house.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I used to smoke, so I never noticed it before. But now that I've been quit for like 4 or 5 years, oh, man. And she came with me. Oh. And she just wafted.
What's the worst smell a customer can have? What's the worst? Like, we're talking, like, cigarettes pretty bad. Like, I think the combination of cigarette and cat piss. I've had those customers where they smell like an ashtray that a cat pissed in. Is probably the worst because that's not even, oh, I have a medical condition and maybe I sweat a lot or what. Like, there's no, that's just, you're nasty.
Or like, I think a mechanic who's all he's done is changed rear ends all day.
But again, that's justifiable. Like, gear oil.
Well, it's justifiable, but I still don't want you in my truck for.
I'd rather that than an ashtray with cat piss in it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. What's the worst? Like, it's which one is better than the other one? Like, right? Like, what would you be worse than the ashtray cat piss lady?
Someone who literally shits themselves in the backseat of your truck.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. If you've actually like shit yourself, I mean, we're talking a whole other level of biohazard. We found out why the seat was wet from your first scenario, but no, like, yeah, all right, that's fair. Somebody who shits their pants. I think that just trumps everything. All right, you're up. This went off the rails. This is what happens when producer Sarah's not here.
Yeah, the production quality just, tapers.
I like to think the authenticity increases.
Well, yeah,
we're just left
because
to
we
our
don't
own.
have that little voice in our head called producer Sarah to say, "Hey, let's get back on track."
Yeah, we just get to run down any rabbit hole we want
to. So once again, back more so the towing side of things. Would you rather work on the side of a 400 series highway in the dark, or on the bend of a dark 2-lane road?
I'm probably gonna go 400 series. First of all, dark doesn't worry me. I always love people always ask that. You need a light? No, I went to night school. But no, as for I love that customer with boosts and stuff. You need a light? No, I went to night school, and they just look at you. What are you talking about? But honestly, the 400 highway at Bend, man, is the worst spot to be in.
Yeah,
I mean, a 400 highway is pretty dumb too. You think that people, can't drive out in the country? These idiots get on the highway at 120, 130 and, get bored in a straight line. But I'd have to say the Bend is probably the worst. I'd probably take the 400. I'm also used to hooking up on 400
take the
highway.
bend out of it.
A back road to the highway?
Yep.
Ooh, do I want to get hit by a drunk or a dumb person?
At least on the highway, they've got somewhere else to go. On a 2-lane road, they're passing another car's oncoming and they still want to get around you.
Yeah, there's also a speed difference between the two. I mean, if you're going to hit me at 80 or you're going to hit me at 120 or you're going to hit me at 100 or 120.
I always tell people I'd much rather get hit on the side of the 400 series highway.
That's this took a dark twist. No, I don't know. I honestly, the 400, like if we're talking straight line, yeah, I'd take the back road. I'd take the back road over the 400, but if we're talking against the curve or whatever, I'd take the 400 highways. I'm used to hooking up on the 400s. Best feeling in the world is when you're laying underneath a car, hooking something up on the side of the highway, and you hear rumble strips, and you're trying to figure out what side they're on. Are they the fast lane rumble strips? Are they the slow? Like they really got to take them off the fast lane side because I've had many.
Make them a different tone.
Yeah, yeah. Like whenever it goes over, make it go left. Right, like give me something because God, speaking to the guy shitting his pants, I've damn near done it. Whenever you're underneath there and you just hear,
or what if you're underneath dropping a drive shaft on the side of the road and all of a sudden a plow truck goes by?
I haven't been in that scenario.
Fun.
I feel like in our area they'd give us a little leniency, but I can't speak for them.
Maybe you just piss that plow driver off. You never know.
All right, I got one last one for you. Mine are so completely different from yours. Would you rather take a dump on the road at the worst gas station bathroom you've ever seen? And I'm not talking like horror movie bathroom where like there's, stuff all over the place. I'm just talking like, I've found a
bathroom,
grungy bathroom that you're kind of like, man, and it's one of those ones where it's not a private one either. Like there's stalls and
there's not much toilet paper left, and
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Or stop every hour on a long trip because your customer has to pee. Because I hate long trips. Stops.
Male or female customer?
Doesn't matter. Well, this is about to get sexist.
Male customer, sure. All over.
Okay. So needs a bathroom.
Okay, needs to use the.
I'm not gonna play your gender game and get in trouble. I'm gonna say needs to actually go to a washroom. Not
can they pee standing up or sitting down?
And we're gone. Both. It doesn't matter. They need a facility to use a washroom. So. For the sake of argument, let's go with woman. I hate that you've baited me into this stupid thing. Hate that we've gone here, but we've gone here. So answer the damn question.
The reason being is the girlfriend downloaded Sims, and that was one of the questions for the Sims. Do they pee standing up or sitting down? And that popped in my head. Anywho.
Instead of gender? Gender.
Yeah,
really?
That's what the Sims has gotten to.
Wow, that's I'm not even offended. I'm impressed. Okay, so which one are you taking? Taking the dump in the grungy bathroom. You don't have to take it every hour. You just gotta take it,
once.
Let's say it's on the same road trip, or your customer going, I gotta pee. Can we pull over again so I can pee? And we're talking like it's a 5-6 hour one way, and the customer's going to stop every hour to pee.
I would rather stop because maybe I got to pee myself. Maybe I just want a snack. If it's a 6-hour drive, I'm a fat guy. I need my nutrition, and I'm not one to carry a bunch of snacks or peanuts in my truck. Like,
you gotta learn. You gotta learn. I got a backpack full of sunflower seeds I was munching on today.
But yeah, I would definitely pick the pull over to stop to pee, because probably that customer will also appreciate it, and they might even tip you at the other end. And I'm the type of person where I can only poop at my house.
I hate playing this game with you because you always pull out all these random scenarios that have nothing to do with it. Like the tip. It's not about the tip. This guy, no tip. No tip for you. It doesn't matter if you stop 7, 8, 10 times. They ain't tipping you. All right. That's fine.
It's still not shit in a, bathroom.
Oh, I've definitely taken dumps in sketchy bathrooms.
I would rather shit on the side of the road.
I've also done that.
Yeah.
So that's a note to go out on. Welcome. Thank you for coming to another episode of the Towing Life podcast. Producer Sarah, we love and miss you, and so
Please
badly.
Come back.
Please
I
come
make
back.
fun of myself too much when you're not here.
So hopefully she'll be back this year. She was out traveling around for the Thanksgiving and everything else going on. She's a very busy lady. Did not have time to join us tonight. We hope to see her back next week. We also hope to see you and hear you all back next week. I guess you hear us. We don't hear you. So on behalf of myself, Plain Guy, and my wonderful co-host, the man with very interesting stories, Mr. Towman G, we can't wait to see you on the next episode. Take care.
Toodles.
Well,
what a gong show.
What a gong show. I think it went really well.
Me too.
I think it was actually a really good episode.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you'll pick that up in it. I think it had that much more natural feel, and the laughing and the fun, and that Sarah's going to listen to that and go, what the fuck happened?
Why did I agree to be on this show?
Yeah. She's not here. We're making pee and poop jokes.
We've gone back to second grade. Farts are funny.
I'm gonna message the group chat and be like, Sarah, we can't do this without you.